Hello, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us about your business, please?
Love to, yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Paul McCaw. I'm the owner and founder of Subbytech.com. We are an award-winning business. We were set up in 2018. We're based in Belfast, very important as well, obviously, for the Nextdoor slant. We provide, well, I'll show you what we provide. You can probably see from behind me here. Phone chargers, charging cables, and other technology gadgets as well.
Wow, great. And well, let's just talk about phone chargers. I mean, let's take your three products. Like phone chargers, is it like every phone charger underneath the sun? Is that correct?
Well, basically the power bank chargers, that would be our sort of core product. It was the launch product as well. I'll actually show you, hang on.
Yes,
give me
great,
1 second.
please.
I don't know what the camera, how it's going to pick these up. They come in 4 different colors: pink, blue, white, black. Let's have a look. If I can show these.
Yeah, I got them. Yeah.
There's the different colors there. What makes ours stand out from a lot of other ones is ours actually has a little timer on it there. Well, not a timer, an LED display. Lets you basically see how much charge is left on the power bank before. All our chargers would normally have lights or something like that. So this way, at least you know exactly how much you've got left before then you have to recharge it yourself.
And for those who are, like I say, 50 is the new 30. So for those who are getting a bit, it's getting a bit hard to see things. The digits look very good for me, so that's good. And so, Paul, those are sort of your core products, are they?
The power banks were our core products. We do other products as well. We also have stuff in the pipeline. For example, we do just standard nylon braided charging cables for those people that keep breaking their cables. Let's have a look. I don't know if the camera is going to be able to pick this up okay. It's our own brand. This is our iPhone 1 as well.
Okay.
These are incredibly durable. They were designed to be, so they're nylon braided. So we have those, and obviously they're compatible with our power bank chargers as well. We also have our they're well known, our famous disco style glow in the dark charging cables. Now I did try and set up to see what it's like, but it's too bright. Got my camera going the wrong way here. I'm pointing out the window. It's too bright to actually show you, but if you go onto subbytech.com, scroll down the page a little bit, you'll actually get a video that will show you it in full effect. They're really cool looking, really, really nice. They're really fun, but they're also a working charger as well, a charging cable too. So you get the best of both worlds. You get a little bit of disco bling as well as charging your phone or other gadget.
And I'm picking up here, Paul. One of the main things is it's a premium product you're going for, and it's a quality product. Is that correct?
It's an affordable product.
Okay.
For too long, you go onto the likes of Amazon. I'll use a certain company that uses a white lead. I'll not say their name, but you can probably guess who I'm talking about. Their gadgets are quite expensive, but their cables are really, really expensive too, and there's no need for them to be so expensive. That was one of the things I wanted to change, was to be able to bring our own brand of charging cable for that particular device and gadget, but bring it to people that they can afford to buy it. The plastic ones that are provided, the white plastic ones, that's one of the sort of the running jokes online, is they break far too easily. So ours then hopefully will step up to the plate and do that. Our reviews shows that we're in the right path so far, but it's early days yet. We only launched them there at Christmas time, so it is early days. Looking good so far.
And is that you're using really customer reviews to help build and enhance your brand? Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. Customers are the core of our business. Sounds such a cliche, I know, but it really is. We would be of the opinion, treat your customer how you yourself would want to be treated. And if you do that, the customer then is going to feel valued as a customer. It's important to differentiate the difference between a customer and a consumer. We would very much go on we look at our customers as customers. They come to us, they have a need, we'll help them. If we don't even have the product in sight, and that's happened on a few occasions, my technical background means I'm able to go, right, look, we don't have this, but here's where you can find it. Here's where you can go to get it. Pay roughly X amount for it. And if there's anything else we can help you with, give us a call back and see what we can do. Even if that means sending to a business that we have no affiliation with at all, if the customer can get a solution to their problem, it means then they're going to come back at some stage when they do need something that you actually do sell.
So generating goodwill by really great customer service.
Oh yeah, it's one of our core things. My background's actually in customer service. I spent many of my 20s based in a customer service facing environment. And again, this is a cliche about the customer being central to everything you do, but it's really, really true. Far too many companies now, big companies, look at customers as consumers, and they've lost that sort of personal touch. So that's where we come in. We bring the personal touch with things like personalized address labels. I'm wondering whether I should tell you about the secret ingredient all of our orders get. It's a little bag of sweeties. That's all I'm going to say. But just wee things like that. Wee things like that that sort of make the customer feel valued, give them the smile when they open their product up, and it makes them feel good about their purchase as well, because they know they're getting a good product. Plus, they've a company that's looked after them as well.
Excellent. So you are really B2C. You're basically consumer or customer. Oh, I know you're more interested in talking about customers than consumers, but you're not a B2B. You're not really. Do you service businesses at all, or is it mainly to consumers that you're focused on?
We have recently secured our first corporate customer. It's something we've just moved into. Well, we did just before we'll call it the human malware crisis hit. Yeah, we got our first corporate customer. They were looking for their own logo on a gift to be able to give to their delegates at their conference, and we have our own manufacturer. So I was able to contact the manufacturer and say, look, we have a client. He wants our power banks, our model of power banks, because these aren't available anywhere else in the UK. We have these custom made, but he wants his logo on it. Is that possible? And yeah, no, that was fine. That was no problem. So I was able to get, well, it was less than 100, but just about less than 100, to give to the client with their own logo on it. They were then able to go to the delegates at the conference and give them a gift that was actually going to be useful. You know, if you go to conferences, you get something that's fired in a drawer, never to be used again. Well, this was actually something that people use and still use day to day, plus the fact that it had the client's logo on it as well was ongoing advertising. Anybody that pulled out a power bank charger was showing the logo off to people as well. So we've had a couple of leads from that, but companies not shutting down at the minute, but they're sort of winding things in at the minute to see how this progresses. So it's in the pipeline again to expand that side of things further.
Well, that is a fantastic call. I mean, well done for that. I mean, that is it's great, because all of a sudden with one business customer, you've got a sale of nearly 100 units. So that's brilliant. Well done for that. Okay, so the other one is now is consumer focus, and what avenues do you use, or what portals do you use to sell to them?
We have an online e-commerce platform that we use, part of the Subbytech website. We also do use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. LinkedIn is something that I've got and we have, but we don't really get too many leads through that. There's only so much you can spread yourself across social media before you go, right, that's too thin in one area. We have to sort of focus on different areas. Yeah, so that's where we're at the minute.
All I can say, I've found, since I've been on my journey of setting this up, my middle-aged guy up, I've found the traction, particularly amongst the local businesses community here, is really good on LinkedIn. Right. So I don't know. So I would recommend you maybe to revisit that again, particularly for that sort of sale that you had before. I recommend you to maybe revisit LinkedIn again. Okay, so I'm really interested in your branding and marketing. I mean, how did you think through that? I mean, how's that evolved? Or maybe before you get that, I think it probably. You had experience with your own work experience, as you said, in your 20s, being customer focused. So you've obviously been mulling this idea around for quite some time. Yeah. So maybe look at what's your personal experience and then how that evolved into the idea of launching this business.
Well, the actual idea of the business came to me when I was really badly injured, actually. I was at the gym and I lifted a weight up that wasn't the correct weight, and it basically aggravated an injury I'd had before. So I was incapacitated. I actually burst the C5 disc in my neck, so I couldn't do anything. I literally was waiting at home each day for my wife to come home to help me move and do stuff. So when it came, my phone, maybe the battery would have ran out, say, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and that was me. I was just lying there, couldn't move. So I thought, right, I'm going to get a power bank. I'd heard of power banks. I'm going to get a power bank to use it. It worked. It was fine, but it really looked sort of very clunky and industrial. And I thought, do you know what? I could do better than this. And that's basically where these then came from.
Wow.
I approached a couple of manufacturers and said, look, I want this to perform as good as all the others, but also to look aesthetically much better than the others. So that's where the idea of the business came from. And I used the time I had effectively spent lying on my back waiting for the surgery to get the design done, get manufacturing done, get some testers done, get them sent to me, put them out and for testing with different demographics as well. So yes, I was in pain, yes, it was sore, but at least I used my time sort of effectively, shall we say, to set things up.
God, it's a great story in the times we live in. Like, we're in a global crisis, or human malware, as you call it. But that's a great story of your own personal crisis. Like what sounds like, I mean, my neck tensed up whenever you mentioned it, a really quite traumatic personal injury and really personal and family crisis. And you turned that into really the start of a business. That's a wonderful story, Paul. Well done.
I've always wanted to work for myself. I've known since I was quite young. Yes, I have the customer service background, but also have a technical background. I used to do, well, I still do, but it's sort of more word of mouth now. I will build custom gaming computers for people, workstations for professional clients, do that sort of thing. So I have the technical background. So I knew what I was looking for. I knew components that I wanted to go within the products that would be of a sufficient standard to be able to say, look, I'm going to put my brand name to this, my business, I completely back this. So I have that sort of background that assisted me when it came to actually sourcing the materials and getting things put together.
And are you promoting that as part of your origin story of Subbytech? Are you leveraging on that technical expertise where you're basically saying the guys, this is, like, I'm standing over this? Are you using that as part of your branding and marketing?
Not really. Not really. I don't have to say, look, this charger's really good. You should try this charger. Maybe I should, but I don't say that. I basically give it to the customer, or if people question or answer, like, what's this like? What do I do with it? And I'm like, just read some of the reviews and you'll see exactly what I mean. And I use the reviews because people buy from people. They don't buy from businesses based on what the business is. If somebody, like your family member, someone says, God, this is really good, you really have to check this out. That's the sort of angle we're coming from, where, look, we're not going to try and sell you something. I'm going to show you what it's like. I'll show you examples of what other people have thought of our products as well. And I let you base that. It's not about the hard sell. It's about, we can help you if you really want to. Here's some feedback from other people that we've helped, and then you can make the choice up yourself. Perhaps that maybe counts against us a little bit. We're not as aggressive, but we're not as an aggressive sort of sales company. That's not what we're about. We're about helping the customer.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the evolution of the world that we're living in I think you're spot on with your approach. What then? So let's talk about it. How did you get your first customer? Let's talk about, you've approached companies. You selected a company to do the manufacturing, etc., etc. Did you help get a company to come in with the branding and marketing, and when did the first customer come in then?
Branding and marketing, do it all myself.
Wow.
Self-taught. If you can, I'm going to try, hold on. Right, I'm going to show one of my business cards up here just to show you the logo. Let me see if this works. There's a big side here. Let's see what that's like. See the S symbol?
Yes.
Oh, right. That is actually obviously S for Subbytech, but it's also a play on the infinity symbol.
Okay.
for never running out of battery again.
Okay.
So I actually got a friend of mine actually came up with the colouring and design of it, but that was the thinking behind it was let's have a play on it. It stands for the business Subbytech also as well, but there's also then that infinity symbol sign where never runs out, never ending, that sort of thing.
Okay, so then where did you go? I mean, I find the branding very fresh, to be honest with you. I mean, I think the colors that you're using are very fresh, and it's great. Where did the first customer come from? Can you remember?
My daughter, who she's doing well, was going to be doing her A levels and going to university. Her age group. To give you a wee bit of idea, I'm just going to show you these three again. These three colours were the initial launch colours: the pink, the white, and the black. Pink, we went for. Apologies if this isn't sort of how it's supposed to be said these days. The real girly girl. My daughter's age group. They want something pink and nice. You then have the white one for those that would have the white phone, shall we say what they are. And then with the black one, it would just be a sort of for a standard business person or whatever, somebody who just wants a plain bit of pocket power without the colour in it as well. So those were the three colours I got. So I gave those initially to my daughter. She got the pink one. The black one went to my brother, who is out and about doing field sales, things like that, and just needed a bit of backup. And the other one, the white one, actually went to a mum who was a blogger, who would have been down the park while her kids were playing. She would have been doing a little bit of work and then topping up her phone, etc. So it actually came from my daughter. One of her friends saw the charger and said, "Look, where'd you get that at?" And Eva was like, my dad, he now has a business that sells these. And that's where that came from, just by saying to Eva, "Look, go and test this, charge," because it can charge multiple things at the same time. Go and stand with your friends, charge their phones while you're charging your own, and see what they say, see if they like the color. One of the things about the aesthetics of it, obviously you can't see a feel of something, but these have, if you've ever been diving or you've worn a wetsuit, these have a soft feel to them. So again, they're not, and they're round edges as well, so they're not sort of big hard bricks that you've got to try and fit in your bag. Very easy to fit in your pocket. But my daughter's friend, she held it and she goes, "God, this actually feels really good. This feels really funny. It's smooth and soft, but it's not smooth and soft." And that was just a sort of a topic of conversation. And from that, then she actually bought one. So that was my very first sale, was from my daughter's friend.
Okay, and then did it evolve then into on? I mean, that was how did you the next transactions then? Did you go online then? And if so, where was your first protocol? Was it on the Amazon or eBay or your own website, or how did that evolve?
We looked initially into possibly listing on Amazon. It is something we're sort of actively looking at the moment, while there's this sort of a lull in things that gives us time to then take a step back and do a wee bit of business development. But initially was just to get a website set up. Now, that wasn't an issue with my background. I was able to do that. I designed and set up the website myself. So not a problem from that point of view. Didn't want to be going sort of full on spending lots of money that we didn't have. We're self-sufficient basically. What we get is what we can spend. So there's no debt, no overheads or anything like that. So we're in a fortunate position compared to other businesses that we've managed to build up step by step, not by taking a huge jump or a huge undertaking. If you go to Amazon or eBay, for example, and you want to sell something with them, you have to buy barcodes to put on your product. Ours, because they're a custom build, ours don't actually come with barcodes. And that was a very, very prohibitive cost for us when we started up. You're talking a few £100s to get barcodes set up. So that was sort of put in the back burner, not going to go down that route. We're just going to use social media to advertise. And from there, things have just taken off via social media without having to go down the route of Amazon or eBay. We're in a position now where we are looking to now invest in getting barcodes to hopefully get into some retail shops in and around Belfast, especially with the disco style charging cable. It's a very good one. We're looking to try and promote that a lot more. But yeah, that's where we're at the minute. E-commerce platform and social media then for advertising without being in any of the big stores or online retail sections.
So let's look at e-commerce. Is that through your own website, first of all, is it?
Yeah, yeah. We have the e-commerce platforms built into the back of the Subbytech website. Again, I was able to set that up myself. So again, there are people that charge lots and lots of money to try and get that set up. But I'm fortunate enough to have the knowledge to do that. Any knowledge I didn't have, I just went online and learned how to do it.
And did you use like a WordPress site and then like WooCommerce or something, or?
Well, yeah, we have the domain hosted with another company, but we use the Shopify e-commerce platform. We have a template with them, which I've literally gutted and started from scratch again. I'm actually working on version 2.0 of the Subbytech website at the moment, now that I've got a bit of time to do stuff. That's going to be launching at the end of the month as well.
And talk about Shopify. I find fascinating. Can you say something more about Shopify? How you found using it, the price plans, etc.
Initially, I had looked at different e-commerce platforms. Wix. What was the first one we had? Was it GoDaddy? I think it was GoDaddy initially, but it found it quite clunky and just couldn't do the add-ons and get the integration right that I wanted to. So I had a look to see what else was about, and I was recommended to have a look at Shopify. They have lots of integrations that you can put on the website that are absolutely superb. Well, for us anyway. You can have 100 products, you can have just one single product, and anything in between. They do have, it's a bit like your phone. If your phone is Shopify, your different apps on your phone, you have those business development tools and different apps that you can just basically bolt in. Most of them are free for Shopify. There are paid ones that we take advantage of as well, but to have the option to then go to other developers and say, what apps have you got that can help us? And then they just plug straight into Shopify and work straight away without me having to do any sort of back-end work.
I noticed the stock price of Shopify has rocketed, actually, in the light of this crisis. So it seems to be a really exciting platform for people. And then how does that interact with the other social medias? I see you have, you've got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. How does that link together? Does that integrate together?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can set it all up. For example, on our product website, you would have, you've probably seen yourself if you've bought something on Amazon or eBay, it gives you the option to share this with your friends. But just click on whatever the icon is, the Twitter icon, the Facebook icon, whatever, and it pops up on then your actual Instagram or Twitter account. So yeah, it's seamless interaction there, no issues at all. And through actual just using Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, things like that as well, you can link your Facebook shop with your Shopify shop, and it's effectively the customers are buying on Shopify, but done through the Facebook platform in the Facebook setup. So yeah, it's really good. There's lots of integration there that makes things a lot easier for me. WordPress, there'd be a lot more work involved in that, and I don't have time to do all that. So I was happy enough to use Shopify.
So so that's fascinating. So your real growth in your real core customer base now is coming in through your different social media channels?
I would hazard a guess that I haven't done the figures recently, but around November last year, 90% of our sales were via social media, at least 90, yeah.
Okay. And then are you allowing that to grow organically, or are you doing more sort of targeted campaigning within that, or paid campaigning within that?
We would have a lot of customers. We've quite a good following on Twitter. We have a good few thousand people on Twitter that follow us. We're fairly well known there. I decided then when this all kicked off the crisis here that I was going to try and move things away rather than being so dependent on one platform, because if Twitter goes down, like there's not a lot you can do. You're dependent on them. So I'm sort of spreading things out a wee bit. So we have just last week actually launched our first Facebook advert, sponsored ads. So we're just testing that at the minute to see how we get on with that.
And is it across all age groups? Is it, or is it? Yeah.
The thing with, are you talking about the Facebook adverts
No,
or?
no, just in general. So in terms of your social media traction, does it? I mean, how is that varying through age groups depending on which social media platform you're using?
Um,
I'm just out of interest because you just gone back to the colors of your phones, etc., etc.
yeah, well, that, as I said before, the demographics, we sort of wanted the younger demographic, perhaps with the pink color. The white charger then would be possibly sort of 20, 25, 30, whatever, and the black one then is sort of a generic one across the board, where if you just wanted, ideally, the sort of the mobile professional that's out and about. That was the three areas that I sort of initially looked at, but that hasn't actually transpired to be the case at all. It just goes to show you what you think you know or what you think people would like. Nah, not in this world. It's very much now based on value and the reviews. You're sort of looking for the enforcement of, all right, so 100 plus 5-star advert or 5-star reviews. These guys must be good. And reading down through, it's like, yeah, these guys are dependable. Never heard of them before, but they've got really good reviews. Let's give them a go.
Great. And next question, is it UK specific, or are you getting customers across Ireland or Europe?
Well, again, just at the very beginning of this crisis, we started to include the EU outside the UK. We do, in my head, I see Ireland as Ireland and UK one market, even though Ireland is technically in the EU. But it's an option that we've set up. In terms of where our market's at, that's one of the reasons why we decided to sign up with Nextdoor, was to try and get local exposure. Easily 80% of our sales are mainland UK, Scotland, Wales, and England. 10-15% would be then the Republic of Ireland, and very, very few, strangely enough, is Northern Ireland. And that was something I still can't get my head around. They've got a really good local business, but nobody's heard of it. So this is Nextdoor is one of the platforms, amongst a few others, that we've then decided to dip our toes into to try and get that local exposure as well.
Well, that's how I came across Subbytech, is via the Nextdoor app. So let's talk about the Nextdoor app. I mean, what's your history? What's your engagement with the Nextdoor app? I mean, how long have you been using it for?
A few months now. The problem with Nextdoor, now it's not really, well, it is a problem, but we find that for you to appear on Nextdoor, you need to have recommendations. To get the recommendations, you need customers to see and to buy from you. And it's a bit of a vicious circle where you can't actually get the customers because they can't see you to get the customers, and so on. So yeah, it's a bit tricky. It's a little bit different. I think that's possibly how they are going to push you down. There's a feature they have now called local deals, where you can set up local deals, and that's something that we just started as well, just to see. We decided to try it for a month to see how we get on there. I think it's to get you to, as a business, to pay for the local deals, which will then get you the exposure, which I think is it 4 or 5 possibly recommendations before your business is actually visible within Nextdoor. Okay. I think that's how it's set up. If I'm wrong, then obviously I can be corrected on that. But that's what we need at the minute, is to get these recommendations so that Nextdoor then show us as a business outside of the local deals, the advertising part of the platform. So we're trying to get these people, the customers at the moment, to give us the recommendations so others will see us. But Nextdoor is just one of the things that we're looking at. We do have our toes in different things within Northern Ireland and locally and around Belfast as well.
Yeah, I think as a consumer, just as a straight consumer, I don't have a business page at all. Is that I live in the Ravenhill area, so I just basically got your app. You must be targeting certain areas in Belfast. I figure, is that right? That's how I can see the ad within my local deals. Is that right?
Nextdoor, before the crisis, they had trialed the local deals option in mainland UK, but they actually made a mistake and they made it live across the board. I saw it and I thought, okay, I've got to give this a go. Paid for a month's exposure. What you do is you pick where you're based, and then it's all the areas around it sort of going out. And the more you go out, then obviously the more you have to pay for the month. Can't remember how much it was to start off with, but I then got an email from Nextdoor. A guy called James from Nextdoor called me, or emailed me to say, really sorry, this isn't live yet in Northern Ireland. Apologies. What we'll do when it does go live in Northern Ireland, we'll give you one listing free, and that's where we're at the minute. I've just basically cashed in that freebie listing to see how we get on. So yeah, that was good. That was good of him. Must say that.
And then offline sales, back to the bricks and mortar shops if and when they will open. Is that something that you were looking at for the local market? I think you mentioned earlier.
But just before Christmas, we were, you've heard of Dragon's Den, one of the dragons, Theo Pathetis. We were fortunate enough to win he's got his own business awards. We were fortunate enough to win his business award there just before Christmas. Good bit of exposure to that. Went over to meet Theo, collect our award there in February, just before all this kicked off. From that, we were then looking to do things like pop-up markets, possibly doing stalls, things like that as well. And then obviously with the virus the coronavirus starting off, then that sort of killed that. In the meantime, it's killed that. But in preparation, I've been able to do these markets and festivals. Because when you're at a festival in the middle of a field and you run out of battery, there's not too many places. So that was something we were really going to target. We'd set up contactless payment options as well for people who wanted. That's actually transpired now, where we can go to customers that don't want any sort of physical contact with the social distancing side, and we can just set our card machine down, they pop the card out, go back indoors, and we go pick it up. So it's kind of a bit of a test run for us. So yeah, trying to see the silver lining in every cloud at the minute.
And just as a matter of interest, what contactless system did you decide to go for, and why?
I'll show you. I don't know how things are with regards to sort of free advertising for these guys.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't worry.
It's called SumUp.
SumUp. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It basically works. That's your card. You can either put it in there or just set it on top for contactless, and you then use an app on your phone to set up how much the customer's going to pay, and then it reads the card, merges them together, and then debits their account.
Fantastic. Can I say? I mean, let's talk more about Theo. How to pronounce his surname?
Theo Pathetis. Yes.
Pathetis. Okay. How was that? I mean, that's. I'm sure that was a great experience. Do you want to say something more about that?
Wow. Yeah. Each week he runs a business competition where you have to pitch to him. Now it's not Dragon's Den pitching, but it's the same idea. You got to sell your business. There are thousands of businesses all across the UK and Ireland that actually enter his competition each week. This was the 16th of December. I think it was around there anyway. One of our customers had come back to me and said, can I have another one of your chargers? And I was like, yeah, sure. Is it for a Christmas present? She goes, yes, my daughter wants one. And I went, right, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. She goes, she has asked Santa for a Subbytech. And that sort of put a smile on my face going, right, well, if kids are asking Santa for one of your products, you know you've got a fairly decent product. And it was that sort of a slant that I put in our submission to Theo and said, I took a screenshot of the customer's conversation with me and I said, look, kids are asking Santa for one of these, then you know you have a good product. So it was Monday night. He runs it on a Sunday and you've a couple of hours to enter it before he closes it. So Monday night I was at home with my wife. We were watching TV, just about to get the twins ready for bed. And my phone just kept vibrating and I thought, that's multiple sales. What's going on? And I looked and it wasn't multiple sales. I was getting notifications by the dozen. I actually had to mute my phone. It was annoying my wife so much. And that was Theo then retweets his winners. And it's part of the Small Business Sunday setup, SBS. There's a hashtag SBS on Twitter. And if you win that, then you get invited over to meet Theo and to collect your award in person from him, have a chat with him. And I thought, right, happy days, we've won this. And yeah, it was really good exposure. So I actually asked my manufacturer to do him his own custom power bank. he refers to himself as on Twitter his job is a shopkeeper. That's what he calls himself on Twitter. So I used the S from our logo, S Opkeeper, so shopkeeper, but with the Subbytech S at the start of it, and got that branded onto the pure white charger and gave that to him then. Again,
Wow.
photos of that are on the website as well. It was really, really good meeting him. He's a really down-to-earth guy, and his guest that day was one of the new, I can't remember her name. She's one of the new dragons anyway. She's from Newcastle, Sarah somebody. I can't remember off the top of my head, but got to meet her as well. I was having a chat with her. So yeah, it was really good. He's really down to earth. He's definitely not as gruff as you see him on Dragon's Den either. He's a really nice guy.
Oh, fantastic, Paul. So I'm just conscious of time for you and stuff. And you,
all right, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm really thinking. I mean, it's really exciting business, and it's amazing. Like, what month in 2018 did you start?
November.
Wow. So you're what's that, 18 months into this?
Yeah, about a year and a half. I injured my neck just before my birthday in April. I had the surgery in June and launched the business then, I think it was October, November time. Basically, it wasn't, here's the launch. It just sort of gradually happened. I put my shop live one day, the e-commerce platform, the website went live one day, or product stock started to arrive and started to get orders. So there was no sort of massive launch day. It wasn't just we're live. It was nothing like that at all. It was just like, oh, actually, I suppose you could say I am now live. I have now started a business officially. It wasn't for weeks afterwards that it sort of dawned on me. I didn't actually have a launch day where I contacted media, things like that at all. It just happened. So yeah, it was around sort of September, October, November time, and around that. Went from being nothing to being business.
Okay. How do you now see, I mean, you've had great victories all the way through this. You got not only you get your first customer, you got multiple customers from that. You've really developed a business. You've now won an award, in 18 months. How do you see, say, the next 18 months from here? Let's just talk about the next few months getting through this crisis. Okay, let's maybe start from there. What are you going to do, and then how is this giving you time to think about what your next steps are going to be?
Oh yeah, very much so. To be honest, in terms of sales and things like that, the only thing that has affected us has been to get stock again. Once the lockdown was announced, we sold out of our chargers, I think, in about 12 or 13 hours. And we had, because of Brexit, let me just go back a little bit. I thought Brexit was going to be a huge deal. So over Christmas, just Christmas past there, I decided, right, I have to get a lot of stock in. I was worried, well, are they going to increase tariffs? Is there going to be shipping problems? Are couriers that we use going to be charging more? I thought, right, I can't really deal with them until it happens. What I can do is to make sure I have enough products that if people do want something, we have it available. As it turned out, the deadline came and went, and nothing really, let's be honest, nothing really has changed on that front in terms of Brexit. So we had loads of stock, and I thought, right, well, at least I'm not going to have to order for a while. And then the virus, the lockdown hit us, and things just went crazy. Because obviously we couldn't go out and do sort of delivery local, and the bulk of our orders would be mainland UK anyway. We were able to use local couriers and Royal Mail to get the goods out there. But we had, stock just went within a few hours. It was crazy couple of days there. Trying to get the stock replenished has been the issue now because of the slowdown globally. There's a lot of backlogs. We're expecting more stock in next week as well, but that's stock that I ordered start of March, so that's taken a long time to get here.
And then you warehouse it here in Northern Ireland, and then you dispatch it from here. Is that right?
Yeah. If it's a charger or whatever, it goes over via courier. We have friends that do the route between Belfast and Stranraer. We have a sort of a wee side deal with him. He's self-employed, so he goes and does some stuff for us, gets his deliveries in, the local couriers who can then forward that on. But cables, things like that, just standard Royal Mail, just means a trip to the post office. So I get my daily exercise as well as getting down to get the orders posted on a daily basis. So yeah, it's working. It's not too bad.
And then, so how do you now see? So in one sense, you are an online business. So online business is booming at the moment. As I say, how do you now see it evolve in the next 18 months?
I think this has been a real wake-up call for everybody. You look at Amazon, for example, they are hiring hundreds and hundreds of people because people are stuck at home. And when you're at home, you go online, do a little bit of shopping. You multiply that sort of attitude, I'll just go online, have a wee look and see what's what amongst every single house, not only in Belfast, Northern Ireland, the UK. Online shopping has just exploded. We want to be able to sort of tap into that a little bit more, specifically in and around the local area, Belfast, Northern Ireland. It'd be really nice if people actually went, oh, here, we have a really good little company, a local business close to us, and we'd never heard of them before. So that's one of the reasons why I'm having a chat with you today, to hopefully get the message out. Look, you have a good business on your doorstep, use them, support local. You pay Amazon money, it goes into the nether. You support a local business. That money then is reinvested back into the local economy as well. It doesn't just get siphoned out to the Cayman Islands or wherever they store their billions and billions of dollars. But yeah, online shopping, I think now is going to... There's been such a huge change that it's just going to go through the roof now. It was always climbing. People... more and more shopping was being done online, but the fact that people can't get to physical shops, or they can, but it's very difficult. I think more people are now going to just online shop rather than go to retail. I can see this being a real problem for standard bricks and mortar retailers in the months and years to come. I think there's going to be a lot of problems.
What do you see? I mean, in terms of growth, I mean, are you going to... I mean, I maybe don't want to say at the moment, but are you going to evolve into other product lines, or like interrelationships or anything?
Yeah, we've got a good few things in the pipeline. It's I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you, sort of James Bond style. No. I spend a lot of time in product development. I speak to lots of manufacturers. I get lots of samples. I reject the vast majority of samples I get because I'm not going to be confident in putting our brand on a product if I don't think the materials are right, etc. So, yeah, there's things. One of the things I can tell you about is an all-in-one streaming package.
Fantastic.
It basically is a light, a holder for your phone, and you can attach this to any worktop or whatever and be able to just sit and chat to people with sufficient lighting, different types of lighting as well. The main thing is it's got to be affordable. You can overprice things and then you go, I'm not getting any sales, but you're left with a load of stock that you're going to have to reduce in value. Or you can do a wee bit of research, find out, look, how much is this type of product worth to people, speak to people, give them a few testers and say, what do you think of that? How much would you pay for that? And do it that way rather than just go, right, this is going to be 50 quid, 100 quid, whatever like that, and then not sell anything. You bring a price that you have to make something as a business. There's no point you selling something if you're not making any money on it. But at the same time, you bring value to people. If you bring value to them, they'll keep coming back.
Well, if I can validate it, your idea, what you just mentioned, which I would buy, is I bought there's the classic sort of Logitech webcam, but I actually went for the Razer RAZR. It's a gaming web. I'm sure you know about
Razer,
it.
Yeah.
And it's a round one, and it's like, I can't lift it now because I'll disappear, but it has a round light on it. It has a dimmer light, which you can adjust. I mean, so what you're talking about is phenomenal. So maybe I will come back once you're about to launch that, and maybe we can do another video.
Yeah, no, I'll do that. That's not a problem.
And just one last thing before you go, like, have you thought of, I'm documenting my journey of setting up this YouTube, a middle-aged guy. I mean, I would find that fascinating. I mean, have you thought of like documenting, or maybe we can do another interview about how you select product? I mean, that's, for me, is interesting. If you're going, this is crap, I'm not going to use this material. That's interesting. And maybe as a consumer, would you think there's value for you?
Yeah, no, I would be happy enough to do that. I did think about doing a blog, but I just don't have the time. There's only so many hours in the day. I've twin 4-year-old identical boys. They're a lot of work. I have the business. I have a poor suffering wife, Carla. Hi, Carla. How you doing? She's an essential worker, so she's not here at the minute.
Yes. Well, you mentioned that whenever we were exchanged before the interview. So thank you very much, Carla, for your work at this minute in time. It's very much appreciated. So thank you. Well, listen, I'm going to wrap it up now because we've hit 50 minutes. But leave me, Paul, and I have a few other things, but I'm just going to wrap it up here, and we'll definitely come back and we'll have another chat again. So listen,
yes, no problem at all.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, dear audience. Bye.